Hi there, welcome back to another video for Barnabas Bot. So in this video, we want to start playing with music, alright? So what we're gonna need is, in this bag, you're gonna see the buzzer. So let me show you under the camera here. Okay, buzzer looks like this. It looks like a cylinder. There's a plus, alright, here. It's important because that is directly above the plus leg. And then we're going to have another leg, which is minus, okay? That's important because for these, the legs are the same length. So you can't just look at the length to see which one's plus or minus. You have to look at this. All right, so let me, before we connect it, let's take a look at the schematic, all right? So going to the drawing. So this is what we have so far. I know, crazy drawing that we have here, but super clean on the Noggin side here. The reason being that the printed circuit board has all the crazy circuits built in for us, right? I'm going to disconnect this for now just to be safe. Okay, so let's draw our buzzer. Okay, so our buzzer is going to be, looks like this, okay? And two legs, we have a plus and a minus, right? So what we have to do is take the plus, it's going to have a resistor, and it's going to go to 6, and then the other side is going to go to G and D. Alright, so what happens is that we're going to be sending signals on nerve number 6, and it's going to be turning this buzzer off and on at different speeds, okay? Sometimes super fast, sometimes kind of slow. And so what happens as you do that, if you turn something on off and on super fast or super slow, you're going to get differing frequencies. I'm just going to write that word here, frequencies, okay, or frequency. Now, what's a frequency? A frequency is how fast something happens. So if you look at my screen there on the bottom right now this pen is going up and down kind of slow. So this will be a lower frequency. And like this, it's kind of fast. This would be a higher frequency. All right. Another way you can think of it is someone might say, how frequently do you go to school? Right? If you go every day, you would say pretty frequent because you go all the time. So you're back and forth all the time. If you don't go very much, like once a month, you would say, I go to school at a low frequency. So same idea. Now, what does that have to do with music? Well, if you think of any music, your favorite musician, or just any musician, any singer, let's say, you'll notice if you listen to them closely, they're going to have high notes where they're singing really high, and then also lower notes where they're singing really low. And so that has to do with frequency. So the high notes are high frequency, and the low notes are low frequency. So our nerve number 6 can do all that. It can do high frequency and low frequency. And the cool thing is that the actual frequency, so there's actually numbers behind this, and so I'm going to write that in here. It's in hertz, okay? So you can actually have a certain number for the frequency will give you a certain note. All right, so let me show you what that looks like by bringing this over here. Okay, if we look at this table here, zooming in a little bit, you're going to see this frequency table. All right, you're going to see C4, C sharp 4, D4, all the way to B4. Okay, and here's the thing about music. Here's just quick music theory thing. The alphabet of music starts with C. So the alphabet of English starts with A, right? A, B, C. For music, it starts with C, C, D, E, and it goes C, D, E, F, G, and then goes to A again, and then to B. So if you've never done music before, that's just a quick kind of introduction to the alphabet of music. And so whenever you do this, Oh, and by the way, you might be looking at, if you've never seen this before, you're like, what about this C hashtag C? Yeah, don't worry about that for now. Those are like the in-between notes, okay? Just know that there are 7 main letters in the alphabet of music, and each of those letters are a note. Now, if you put the notes in a certain order or certain combinations, you get nice sounding music. If you put them in crazy combinations, you're going to get poor sounding music, okay? And so you can try both. So the other thing I want to mention is that you notice on the right side here, let me zoom in again, you see that it says C5. So there's C4 and C5. So what's up with that? So there's these things called octaves, okay? So there's a C that's a lower C, and then there's the same note, but it's a higher C, and just repeats. Like there's also C6, C7, C8, even C10, okay? So that's a super high C. And so as your music gets more and more complex, so you have different notes and different octaves, like higher octaves and lower octaves, your music can get more complex. All right, so this thing can go on and on. This is called music theory. There's a lot to learn there, so we're not going to go into all that, but I just wanted to give you an idea of how music works and how it connects to frequencies, and then also to our robot here. So back to C4, okay? Let's look at C4. It says the frequency is 261. So what that means is that what's going to happen is that our speaker is going to be turning off and on at 261 hertz. And when that happens, you're going to hear a note, okay? And hertz just means how many times per second. So it would be 261 times in 1 second. That would be off and on. Kind of fast, right? Okay. So let's try it out. Let's try to play C4 and see what happens. All right, so let's remember 261 for C4. Okay. And but before that, we need to wire it up, right? So the cool thing is we already know breadboarding, so we're just going to jump to putting this thing directly onto our noggin. So now that we know the schematic, right, it's important because we're coding, we need to know the schematic. Let's just stick it onto our noggin. So all you have to do is take the plus, okay, find the plus pin and stick it into right here. See buzzer 6 right here? You just plug it in. Actually, no. We're going to have to put the resistor in there too, and the resistor is going to be harder to get in if this is in already. So go ahead and grab your 470 ohm resistor, this one right here. Gold, brown, purple, and yellow, and let's stick it into it says R2. Okay. And then take this, and plus pin goes to where it says plus, and minus to minus, you might need it. Let's see. Just bend it slightly. And it should go in. Alright, and make sure to be careful, it does go in. Sometimes you might think it's in, but it's not quite in. Okay. Alright, there we go. Our circuit is done. Now we can go to coding. Okay. Okay. So let's set up the pin mode. It's buzzer 6, right? Let's make sure. 6, yeah. Buzzer is pin number 6. And it's gonna be an output. So like an LED, it's sending stuff out, but it's gonna be a sound, not a light. So pin mode 6, output. Okay. And right now we have it so that this is code that turns on the light when I press, turn off the light when I don't press. That's fine. I'm just gonna leave that in there. But let's also make a tone. Tone 6. I think it was 261. That's for the C4, I believe. Let's go back to look here. C4 is 261. Yep, C4 is 261. Great. So this should play the note C, and then what I'll do here, if I don't press the button, let's turn it off. So you just say no tone 6. Okay, otherwise when I press it, it'll just keep going and making that sound, which is not what I want. Okay, so when I press the button, it should do this. When I don't press the button, it's gonna do that. Let's try it out. Okay. Why is it? It's making a sound now. Oh, you know what? I realized something. This is incorrect code. Because this is... Okay, yes. This is my code that was for my connections when I had the breadboard wires. Alright, so... That's why I got issues. This is my old code, or you know what? Let's just fix it really quick. Okay, so I have it was pin 8 was my button for, and then pin 8 pull up, and it wasn't in 8. It wasn't 8 for the second light. It was 13. So I just changed the 8s to 13. Okay, that's it. Just wanted to fix that. So you might have that mistake too if you didn't save your work like me. But now it should be matched up. All right, let's try again. Okay. That's just from before. Okay, let's upload. Okay. Let's see. And it is not working still. Let's see. Oh, because I didn't fix this, right? This should say which pin is my button now? My button is pin number 8, not 2, right? So, you know, I've done this a few times. You can see me make mistakes. It's also good for you to see me fail and fix it. Okay, hopefully this should work now. Let's try. Okay, good. It's not doing anything now. When I press the button, I get a sound and my lights. When I let go, off. Cool. Okay. Now, what if I want to play 2 notes, like 2 notes in a row? Let's say I want to play, going back here, I want to play C4, and then I want to play C5 after that. And that's 523 hertz for C5. Let's see how that sounds. Tone, okay, C4, that's C4. I'm gonna play it for 1 second. Then I'm gonna play C5, which was... C5 is 523. Okay, see how that sounds. So now I'm trying to make some music here. So I'm playing 1 note for a second and another note for a second. Okay, pressing the button. Cool. I have a C4 and a C5. It's trying to play some music. All right, so I'm going to kind of leave things there for now. You can get pretty advanced with the music. Oh, well, just real quick, right? What if you want to play faster? Like you have some music, but now you want to make it an upbeat music. It's kind of like the blinking light thing. If you want to make it blink faster or play faster or in terms of music, you just make the delays smaller. Same idea. That's why we did the light first and now we're doing the music. So let's just see if that works. It should work. Press the button. So if you hear that, if you listen to it, it sounds kind of like sounds like a video game now. So I don't know if, just make sure you can hear that there. So these kind of buttons here, these are the same kind of speakers that were used in old school Nintendo games and things like that. So one really cool exercise that I like to do is to actually play Super Mario Brothers. If you know that game, you can actually play the Super Mario Brothers song using these tones. And so let me show you this. Okay, if we go to this page here, and I have links for this that I'll share. Alright, there are a few little exercises here. Alright, let me zoom in here. Alright, this is a fun one just to as a warm-up. You play B4 for a second, rest for a second, meaning B4, turn it off for a second, and then A4, turn it off for a second, and then G4, turn it off for a second. If you do that, you're gonna hear the first few notes of Hot Cross Buns. It's a nursery rhyme, or Three Blind Mice is the same tone. Okay, so that's just a fun little exercise. I would try that, and then once you get comfortable with that, you could do these other ones here. There's Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, the Happy Birthday song, Mary Had a Little Lamb. If you click on here, I believe it takes you to a link.
I bet you $1 million that you could learn piano.
And of course, there's going to be an ad.
If it takes you longer than 3 minutes,
I'm just going to let this run so that I can show you the video. Okay. And there we go. See, it plays and it shows you the notes. So what you can do, you see it said G, and now it said G, G, and then D, and then E. You would just match up those letters to the table that we were looking at before. This table right here. Okay? And then there's some of the easier songs, like Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. It's all in one octave, so you don't have to have some here and then some here. Like, you don't have to do E4 and E5. You would just do E4. But Super Mario Brothers, I think it's down here. Yeah, down here, you're gonna need 2 different octaves. Okay, so that's something to play with. Maybe I'll make another video with a little bit more in-depth and try to do a more difficult song. But for now, I just want to kind of give you an introduction to it, and then give you kind of the keys to the car, and just drive away and like play with the music, see what you can do. All right, have fun with that. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. Bye bye for now.